Hello, Kaylyn.
Hi.
What are you
How are you?
doing?
Good. I love this. We're in two different seasons again.
We're
Hi,
actually,
guys. I'm Kaylyn.
I'm Dr. Cynthia,
This is Intuitive Hypnotherapy Podcast.
where we invite you to come for the chat and stay for the healing. And sometimes we forget what we do. And
I was just going to say that I get so excited to start talking that I'm like, well, we should probably tell people who we are,
and I'm actually in such a great mood today, even though we're going to talk about a subject that's not. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What you got
You
going
like
on?
my ponytails? What do you think of
I
that?
do. I love them. I like the earrings the best. They're awesome and dangly and beautiful.
Well, they're coming off as soon as we're done. But my daughter had this entire pack of costume jewelry, beautifully shrink wrapped on a black napkin, and it
Really?
had stayed, and this is 2017 she moved to Sydney.
Ooh.
She's back now, but she had shrink wrapped everything, put it in storage, and then went to go get her master's degree. Anyway, so we should mention why I was missing last week.
I know. I didn't want to overshare. I thought I'd let you share if you wanted to,
We've been talking about
I know. I thought we had, but
how is your brain really? How's your brain? How's your bod?
the brain is a lot better. There are still some things that actually I'm gonna text you more after this because I'm gonna ask you about maybe some vitamins or supplements or something, or just
I'll just
better
tell you.
food.
Ginkgo biloba, and ginseng, equal parts. Get a big bottle of each, take them together twice a day, morning and afternoon.
Okay.
It's chef's kiss.
Yeah, because it's one of those things that I am so much better than I was in the very beginning. Like for a month, I was just a mess. But and I still have moments and I get frustrated because I'm like,
well, we think about the ginkgo for brain focus, but most people don't know about the ginseng synergist.
No.
See, that's a TCM, traditional Chinese medicine formula, and it's called Dui Yao for those of you that speak Pinyin. And it's just one of these magical pairings. Ginkgo biloba in Pinyin is by Guo, and don't get on me for my terrible pronunciation. But this is one of these magical pairings. Whether you have senile dementia, whether you have brain fog, whether you have, some people will get a form of amnesia from being under anesthesia.
Oh.
Okay. And so it's great for that. It's great for improved focus if you're trying to study for exams. You got a student that, struggling in school, 101 uses. We'll put it in the show notes. Ginkgo biloba, ginseng, pretty much equal parts.
Twice a day. Gotcha.
Yeah, twice a day.
Yeah, I need to do that because I am a ton better, but I still have days where I'm like, what the hell? Like I'll be mid-conversation and blank.
Yep.
On what or on mid-conversation and I'm like, where was I going with this? Which probably to our listeners doesn't sound that abnormal because we're kind of all over the place. But it's different. But yeah, other than that, body is doing a whole lot better. We're starting to do a lot more exercises in therapy, which makes me a little sore, but it's a good sore.
Okay.
So
but you feel
how about you
feel like you're clawing your way back to pre-accident status?
Definitely. Yeah. We're getting there.
Well, on last Wednesday, so it's 8 days ago, finally had my knee surgery. And it was arthroscopic. They were going to fix something on my meniscus. There was an obvious tear that you could see on the MRI. I had 3 different kinds of cysts. I had arthritis in my patella. I had like 9 things wrong with my knee. It was just like the poo-poo platter of what could go wrong. But I have lots of space, so I'm not, the joint itself isn't wearing away. I just had a hell of an injury, and the mechanism of the injury will be the segue lead in to today's topic. So I didn't participate in the recording because I was doing my pre-op last Tuesday, and there's just a lot of moving parts to get ready for surgery, to get ready to
when you told me all the different things you were doing, I was like, geez, I mean, luckily I've not been in that
so position. The poor fellas, like the poor fellas that I've not responded to on a certain dating site, I've been a little preoccupied.
Other things are going on.
But so, and I had a couple of complications, and this is one of those times where, a healthy combination of Western and Eastern medicine remedies is, getting me through. But I just, especially today, I woke up hopeful.
Good.
Like I'm gonna start getting my life back, gonna start having some energy, getting better sleep, gonna be able to start moving around. I won't be able to do child's pose anytime soon, but cool.
Yes.
So anyway, so that's what, but I wanted to mention, I spoke to you directly, but I want to say on air how wonderful you did. I know this is not in your wheelhouse, and I know you probably had the stress sweat going on in the background, but you couldn't tell. It was great. Good. And I listened to it. I listened to all of our podcasts. And I listened to it in the car, and I was like, it was really clear. Now, granted, I know you, but the instructions were really clear. I think a random individual listening to it would know, okay, I'm gonna do good breathing. I know what box breathing is now. So
good, because I was worried about talking too fast, or over explaining, not explaining enough, and I think I already told you, I was like, last minute, I was like, I mean, I could post something we've already got. Like, no, I can do this.
You did.
And then I got so into it that I cut it so close to picking up Laura that day. I mean, when I got off of luckily it was off of the recording, or else I would have edited it out probably. I'm looking at the time, I'm like, oh shit. And I'm shutting the computer and running out the door.
But honestly, I'm kind of sad you trimmed that off, because I think that would have been endearing.
I've got everybody nice, calm, and relaxed, and then you hear me yell.
Right. Well, especially if you put a explanation of what the oh shit was,
Right. Right.
You didn't have a gas leak and your roof didn't just blow off. But
well, thank you. I got into it toward the end, so it's all right. Yeah.
Chef's kiss. I was so proud. I was like, oh, my little girl.
Good. I'm glad.
I was literally doing that in the car listening, because I'm very animated, even if it's just talking to myself or talking to my dog like she's a human. So carefully researching the causation of my knee injury.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. One of these days, we got to get a producer that can put in sounds. Dun, dun.
I know. I already looked at some things and I'm like, oh, we could do an intro. We could do this. And I was like, I got to figure out how to do that.
Applause.
I like that one. Add our own. So you think you figured it out? Where all this has come from?
And I'll tell you, and I'm working on the emotions behind it. And we're going to do it all together. So I mentioned before my crazy ex-landlady. And she is crazy, and she is my ex, and she's a landlady. I could, were it in my wheelhouse, diagnose her with age onset dementia or dementia paranoia. But if you have dementia, paranoia, and you have low self-esteem coupled with entitlement syndrome, wrap that in a bow with QAnon conspiracy. You almost have to live it to appreciate the fuck up of it. And I thought, I'm just going to love her. I'm just going to love her so much and just show her that she's worthy and fantastic. And so I came home after work one day, and she's at home all day because she's retired, been retired for 30, 40 years. So she's got lots of energy because she's just woken up from a nap. I'm fucking exhausted because I worked all day. Right. So I come home, and one of the other things is when I moved in, she goes, listen, once you move in, I'm out of your hair. You will never see me. Like liar.
Yeah, I was going to say famous last words. Like,
oh my God. I never had a moment's peace. But anyway, so I'm tired. I'm coming home, and she has this solar light on the roof. And not only was she not very tidy, but she had just fucking haunted house level spider webs, like in every nook and cranny. And she didn't clean them. She didn't try to abate why she would have so many spider webs.
Like inside the house or outside or both?
It's a lot of both. Another thing that makes me angry, this is going to be the topic today. So anyway, so it's sunset. I'm climbing on the roof to get this goddamn solar light, that turns on at night. She has so many cobwebs, and if you have a light that stays on at night, cobwebs, spiders are going to go there because it's like, there's a work light on.
Right. Yeah.
Let's build there. And so she had these solar lights everywhere, and they're just, whoa. I don't mind spiders. I love them. I love the work that they do. Good job. You keep the other animals at bay.
Yep.
Thank you for your service. I just don't want them in my house.
Agreed.
I don't want their webs everywhere. And if they show up, fucking clean them, because what happens is they get debris and dust, and it just becomes a self-perpetuating nightmare. So her whole house was like this, the outside of the house, and especially the backside where I was. So she had the solar light, and she was like, well, let's just take it down now. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm tired.
Now.
I don't want to. She goes, well, go get a ladder and do it. And I was like, oh, I'll just climb up on the cabinet, and I get it. And so the sun was setting, and I get the lamp, and I'm like, fuck, I'm sunblind. Have you ever done that? You're looking at something and the sun is right behind it. And I was like, I'm sunblind. And she goes, well, get down. And I'm like, and I should have waited till I wasn't sunblind, but I was sunblind. Well, get down. And so, and I had climbed up on a chair, and then I missed the chair coming down, and I landed on my knee. So long story. I'm sorry, people. I don't know how to abridge my stories yet. Long story, landed on my neck, saw stars. Literally, it took the wind out of me. I could not move. I was honestly paralyzed for several minutes. I could not move. I was on my hands and knees, just trying to make sense of the universe.
Yeah.
And then crazy, entitled without empathy or sympathy bitch goes, oh, great, you're fine, walk it off. So, that relationship was so challenging.
Yeah.
Necessary for some reason, or it wouldn't have happened. I know this, and I'm parsing it out. But the reason I bring it up today is because we're going to work on anger, because anger is one of the menu of emotions that we humans experience. We're supposed to experience, right? Joy, passion, empathy, sympathy, anger, pensiveness. What are some emotions? Fire away.
Well, yeah, I mean, the good ones, right? Happiness, sadness. I don't know. I think you've listed most of them.
Frustration,
Yeah,
depression.
unfortunately. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we tend to only want to experience the good ones, even anxiety, stress, pressure. And anger has to, we have to, all of these emotions, we need to process them. We need to lean in. We're going to work today to address things that make us angry and find a safe way to lean into that anger. Okay. And I'm going to do it with you. And there might be emotions here. Safely. It's when we have anger and we don't process it, we don't express it, it turns into something else. It turns into anxiety, it turns into depression, it turns into rage, it turns into, a lot of us turn it inward and we're mean to ourselves. See, the cat agrees.
Yes,
Raise
he
your
does.
paw.
He does. Now, instead of him clawing my leg, let's put a pillow here for him. Okay, continue.
So one of my not very eloquent Cynthiaisms is whatever you repress, you'll eventually have to express. And as a body worker and a light worker, I see so many people that are not addressing their stuff. And it could be anything. And we'll march our way through the other emotions. Today, we're working on anger. In Chinese medicine, it hits the liver. The liver is our biggest organ and it likes to share the wealth with other organs. We call it overacting. So sometimes you're really stressed out and you have stomach pains. You might have gastritis. You might have pepsitis. You might develop an ulcer. You might have stress and it might overact to the large intestine, either causing diarrhea or constipation. You might have stress and it overacts to the heart, causing fluttering, defibrillation, or even bradycardia, slowing the heart. Obviously, we know that stress creates high blood pressure in a lot of folks. So, and in Chinese medicine, we believe that anger is housed in the heart. Is housed in the liver. So we want to move that chi. It's called liver chi stagnation. We want to move that chi. We want to give it some place to process so it doesn't fester, so it doesn't create and boil over, causing other problems. I sat with this and I want to do two things. I want to actually teach some safe ways to lean into anger when you're really angry. And we do have legitimate things to feel angry about, and then we can take an appropriate action step to deal with that anger, right? We're getting some road work done, and these ding dongs have been, okay, we have the tiniest little parking lot in the back of our building here, the tiniest. imagine 6 parking spaces on each side of the entrance. And then a car length away, there's 6 more on each side, and then the drive out. So what is that? 24 spaces total,
Yes.
right? That is a teeny tiny parking lot.
Right.
And
How many
so these
businesses are
workers
in where you're
in
at?
their giant industrial trucks, you know, their
Uh-huh.
oversized trailers and everything, have been just taking over the parking lot. And so I was chatting with a couple of my neighbors and I said, where's that paper? We got a notice from these guys. I'm just going to call them. So I called up, the foreman answered, and I said, I'm a tenant here, and you've been here all week taking up our teeny tiny parking space. The church has given you carte blanche, and it's got a huge parking lot, you know, maybe an acre or 2 in size. I said, and they have trees and they have shade. You could be over there. Or the one to the other side of our parking lot is 4 times the size of ours. Also, they have shade. Why are you guys parking in our teeny tiny parking lot? Which, with this road work that they're doing, we have cones. And so they have to move these giant trucks in between these little cones. And so it was just so stupid.
Yeah.
It made us angry. I felt the anger. I leaned into it. I made the phone call. They will not be parking here again.
You know,
Right?
I was gritting the whole time because we've got, it's weird, but our house, since we bought it from the church, it actually has like maybe an acre, a half acre, a parking lot.
Yeah.
And it's starting to kind of, you know, disappear a little bit, but it's a parking lot. And we've got signs up that say private property. But I can't tell you, we're talking about anger today, the things that just instantly, when people pull in and just sit there, pull in, do their business. And I'm like, this is the same as pulling in somebody's driveway. Like, what are you doing? But they don't, I mean, again, I've got to look at it as they don't know, because there is a private or private property sign, but it's like not necessary. Maybe they didn't pay attention, but we've had road work done before, and we've both come home from work to find a like big piece of equipment in the parking lot. I was so mad because yes, we have the room, but ask. And like you, we are across the street from a church that probably would not have an issue, but you put, and side note, we're getting all the, I'm going to be ready to work some anger out. The vehicle, or the, you know, piece of equipment was Department of Transportation equipment.
DOT. They know better.
And exactly. And we have issue with them because Dave's house, before we lived here, had a great, huge backyard. And DOT and eminent domain came through and took a huge chunk of it. They literally widened a road into his property. And they're like, yeah, but you still have it on the other side of the road. So we're going to stop traffic because now it's a busy road. We're going to stop traffic so we can go cut grass on the other side of the street. So if you can't tell, I already had issue. So then when we come home,
it's
like
a couple years, who thinks this through?
Yeah. And I mean, yes, they paid for it. But it wasn't worth it. And I mean, Dave even said that. Dave's like, the amount of money you're wanting to pay for this doesn't make a difference because you've cut my property in half, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, when we see an ODOT vehicle in our parking lot, again, we've got the space, but just ask. Just ask, you know, come to the door, leave a note like we broke down, because honestly, I do think they broke down, which is ironic too. But yeah, it's that little bit of like that instantly angers me, and I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but it's like in the grand scheme of things.
And that's the other thing we're going to work on. So want to do a safe place to feel anger, to feel that specific emotion. however it looks, however it presents in your universe. But the other part of this is we have receptor sites. Think of them like lock and keys. And if you've ever seen the movie What the Bleep, they have a great graphic about this. So imagine that I have a lock that says, people that disrespect my space annoy me. So every time somebody disrespects my space, it's like they have the key for that lock, right? Or that button. They know how to push my button. So what is the button? So we're going to, the other part of that is we're going to look for those buttons, look for the triggers, because people get mad for a lot of things. Are you really mad because somebody cut you off in traffic?
Right.
Like, what really did that do? Is, you know, that extra 3 seconds, is that really going to make a huge difference in your drive? You know, so we're going to look at that, and this would be a nod to the 4 agreements and take nothing personally. And so we're going to look for whatever your lock is, whatever your button is, and there could be lots of them. So this is a lather, rinse, repeat proposition. So if you have people that disrespect my space is a trigger. Even if you don't remove the trigger completely, but if we can dial it back even by 10%, that's 10% fewer situations that are going to make you angry.
Right.
And I thought you did so great on your thing. And we both say so, you know, and my personal one that I'm working on is the
Ooh.
Especially when I do the meditations. So we'll try to just
Here's the great part. I don't see that. I don't pick up on that at all. And obviously I'm doing the meditations with you. So if you're doing it, there's no hiccups or speed bumps in the meditation, because I don't recall you doing that.
Thank you very much. And maybe I shouldn't have drawn attention to it. And here is something I'd like you to co-participate in the healing work today, because especially the alternate nostril breathing.
Yes.
I was always taught to do 7 rounds of it.
Okay.
That's a magical number in Ayurveda. That's who I learned from. 7 rounds. And what's beautiful about the alternate nostril breathing, and I think you pointed this out, is it creates balance in the brain and between the 2 hemispheres. It pings, that's my word. It hits what's called the median sulcus. It's that little tendon that that creates the 2 halves of our brain. And when you do the alternate nostril breathing, it allows our breath to go and hit that sulcus. And by doing so, kind of opens the communication between the 2 sides. And that in and of itself is very calming and balancing to the body. Some of you may decide to do 7 rounds of alternate nostril breathing and sign off. You still get a healing.
Nope, you described it beautifully. I did not explain anything behind it other than I know for me, it's almost like you doing the guided meditation. Like I have to have something to kind of think about in order to relax, if that makes sense. Like I can't just think of nothing. So the alternate nostril breathing, like I'm thinking about it, I'm picturing it going through, like I literally am picturing an airflow, and that yeah, that kind of is part of it for me, like something else to focus on other than all the other stuff going on.
Yes, so good. If you could start us off with 7 rounds
Yeah.
or thereabouts of alternate nostril breathing, then and please let me know, because I'll be doing it with you and may or may not be counting. And then let me know when you're done, and I will start the meditation hypnosis portion.
Absolutely. So last week, if you did not listen, the alternate nostril breathing, I'll do a brief description and then we'll do it all together.
Ooh, time out. Don't be driving. Don't be operating heavy machinery. Safety first.
Right.
This is a great thing. If you're listening to this in your car, pull over. Just not in Kaylyn's parking lot.
Right. No, just ask, okay? Or put a note on your car. Sorry,
or let her see you doing this.
Exactly. We have cameras. I will see you. Absolutely.
We should make stickers.
We've got a few.
Yeah, one of our stickers
every now and then. I like it. Yes. So yeah, no operating machinery, and
okay.
pull over, take a breather, literally. So alternate nostril breathing. We're gonna think about breathing and breathe in one nostril, breathing out the other nostril. So I use my hand and I'll breathe in through my left nostril while closing my right nostril with my thumb. And then out through my right while I close my left nostril with my finger. And then we're going to go in through the right and out through the left. There's one. Do it again. In through the left. Out through the right. And in through the right. Out through the left. Do a few more unassisted. In. Last round. In. Out. In. And out.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
So now, in this deep, relaxed state, it's highly likely that you already have your eyes closed. And keep them closed. And allow your eyelids to grow even heavier. You're breathing through both nostrils, in and out, rhythmically, comfortably. And with every natural breath, allow those eyelids to get heavier and heavier. And with every breath, allow your body to get more and more relaxed, more and more comfortable, more and more heavy in the chair. Allowing your limbs to be heavy, your arms and legs. Allow them to be heavy, allowing you to sink into your chair. And with every natural breath, they become heavier and heavier, almost like you're asleep. And with your eyes closed, you can try to lift your arms or feet, and they just won't work. They're so heavy, you can't lift them. Go ahead and try, and it just doesn't work. And every time you do, it allows you to go deeper and deeper and deeper into relaxation, comfortably, soft, relaxed, soothing, purposeful. Deeper down, deeper down. Your brain is balanced. Your body is relaxed. And we're ready to go even deeper into relaxation, into our resource state, that quiet place of our subconscious mind. Deeper down, deeper down. And we're going to count backwards from 10. And when we get to 0, be all the way down into our deepest relaxation. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, all the way down, 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 down into relaxation, into comfort, into that special quiet place of your subconscious mind, where it's always there to protect you, will always tell you the truth. So in this deep, relaxed state, your subconscious mind, imagine your bubble around you in all directions, about 3 feet. See that bubble over your head, to either side, front of you, behind you, and underneath you. This is your aura, your energy field, your private space. And on the outside of this bubble, create a box, maybe the size of a bread box, or a lock box, or a jewelry box. And have it just out there, hovering in space, on the outside of your bubble, but not touching your bubble. And in this box, you're going to send any anger that you've been holding on to, any anger that you're ready to let go of. So in your mind's eye, look at that box of your creation, of your imagination, the one that represents anger for you that you've been holding on to. And we're going to lean in concept of feeling the anger. And in this deep, relaxed state, imagine in your mind's eye that any anger that's in your space looks like ping pong balls, or about the size of a golf ball. They could be stuck to your clothing. They can be inside your body, floating around your bubble. Turn your analyzer down and just grab the first of these ping pong balls that represent anger. And in your mind's eye, hold it in your hand. And irrespective of what the anger is about, the source, or the context, in this safe place, allow yourself to feel that anger. Maybe your body becomes warm. Maybe you experience a little bit of sweating. Maybe a tear flows. Allow yourself to feel that anger. And when you're ready, put that ping pong ball in the box outside of your bubble. And in your mind's eye, look around your space for another one of those ping pong balls that represents anger that you've been storing, that you've been carrying around. Maybe it's yours. Maybe it's not even yours. Maybe it's somebody else's anger. Maybe it's some information you saw on the interwebs or on the television or some savvy marketing campaign. Take that next ping pong ball and in your mind's eye, hold it in your hand and feel that anger. Allow your body to process in this safe place that emotion of anger. You may see the source of the anger, the situation, the context, the year, the date, or it may be very vague. In this safe place, allow yourself to dial in, to lean into that emotion. Maybe for a moment, maybe just consider feeling that feeling. And when you're ready, put that ping pong ball into your lockbox. And you can do this for all the ping pong balls that you see. Look around in your mind's eye. Look around from your third eye. Do you have one or two ping pong balls that represent anger in your space? Or do you have hundreds? Are they stuck to you like those cockleburs when we go hiking? You can put them in the box one by one, or you can imagine a vacuum and just sucking them all out. If you need to process any more, that emotion will be out on the astral iCloud. You can look it up if you want to. Or if you're ready, just let them go. And check in the back of your aura, because that shit likes to hide. And again, you can move these one at a time. You can feel each one. You could process each one, whatever you need in order to heal the emotion of anger that's stuck in your space. Take as much time as you need. You can pause the recording here and spend as much time on this exercise as you like. And when you're ready, when you've moved enough, felt enough, experienced enough of your anger or the anger that you've been holding on to for now, go ahead and send the last of those ping pong balls into your lockbox. And then lock that lockbox. Close it tight. Put a lock on it. And then when you see that lockbox that you've stuffed the anger that you're ready to let go of, create a mirror image of it. Create a second one, its own twin. So now you have two of these. You've copied this file. And in your mind's eye, take one of the lock boxes and throw it at the other, or let them collide together. And in so doing, you destroy both of them. And you're destroying them permanently. Removing that anger. And doing it in a way that's safe. Take a deep breath. And as you do, and as you complete this exercise, you'll notice that you're even more relaxed, more comfortable. You sunk a little more deeply into this relaxed space. Even if you've gone unconscious, you know that you've done the work. You've done it on autopilot, and it's a beautiful thing. And even though your body feels heavier, your spirit feels lighter. So bask in that moment, assessing the work that you've done, the healing that you've given yourself. And the next part of this meditation, this hypnosis, this healing, in your mind's eye, look around your bubble and your body for buttons. It can be like a light switch that flips on or off, or one that just you push it and it clicks on. Could be a lock for which you have a key or someone has the key. These are receptor sites. These are triggers for things that anger you. One of mine is people who don't respect my time. That's a biggie for me. People who are mean to other people make me mad. People who are disrespectful to myself or others. Probably my biggest is anyone who harms my child. May not get rid of that one entirely, but I might dial it back 10%. So whatever your triggers are, whatever your buttons are, whatever your receptor sites that make you angry, identify them. And you can't do this wrong. First impression. If you see a giant button on your forehead, then that's what you see. And whatever the trigger, the subject, the topic, the context, you cannot do this wrong. And I encourage you to do this more than once. And of course, you can do this exercise for different emotions. So look around your bubble, look around your physical body, maybe even inside your physical body. See where you find any buttons. Where are your buttons? If someone's going to push a button, you might as well know where it is. And what exactly is the subject? So just play along. Just have fun with this. You might see a handful of buttons. Might see a few dozen. You might be covered. It doesn't matter, because we're going to heal them. So outside your bubble, floating in space, create a rose. Create a rose with a nice long stem. And this rose has the magical power of being able to remove anger, creating trigger buttons. So see that rose, see it floating out in space. What color is it? What size is it? Is the bloom open or closed? And whatever size it is, make it 10% bigger. And allow that rose to gently, kindly, comfortably lean into your bubble. And just like an eraser tool on Adobe Photoshop or Paint, start seeing that rose erasing, deleting those buttons. And again, make sure it gets to the back side of you, the back of your body, back of your bubble. And you can't do this wrong. Allow it to be easy. Allow it to be fun. Boink, 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 boink. Just getting rid of these triggers for anger. Triggers for anger that you're ready to let go of. And let it be easy. And let that rose be the tool that helps you vanquish. Just see it in your mind's eye. See that rose leaning into your bubble. Just allowing it to delete, to disappear, to magically heal all of those receptor sites. If you have a lot of them, maybe it's airbrushing you like in those tanning booths. Only it's taking away the receptor sites, not just covering them up. Yes, that's exactly right. Just play around with this. And it's very likely that you're feeling lighter and lighter and lighter. Just getting rid of those triggers for anger, those buttons. Somebody might try to push your button, but if the button isn't there, you don't get triggered. You don't get angry. That's a win. Take a few deep breaths and let your rose continue healing you. Let it do its job. Allow yourself to release those triggers, those buttons, those little things or big things that make you angry. And when you're ready, send that rose back outside your bubble. And then whatever that rose looks like, whatever color, whatever size, create a copy, an exact match. And either take one rose and put it over the other one, making the both of them disappear, or have both roses collide into one another, destroying both of them. And letting all that energy that you've moved out of your space turned into fairy dust, starlight. You have released those buttons, those triggers for anger. And you'll probably notice that you feel lighter. You feel more comfortable. You might feel happy, hopeful. In a moment, we're going to count from 0 to 10. And if you're turning in for the night and going to bed, you'll continue to be relaxed and just fall into a beautiful slumber. If you need to come back to the room, you'll come back to the room energized, focused, healed, ready to take on your next task. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Eyes open, wake up. Here we go.
Hello.
How the heck are you?
Oh, I'm good. I was just going to try to show you what we've got going on down here with this little sleepy, like he was snoring and everything.
Nice. Well, animals
He
do love the
was-
bubble. Yeah.
Yep. He was all curled up and snoring. But then when we got going, like he even stopped snoring and was just
I'm in.
out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So our
Yes.
listeners, if you notice that your pets curl up when you start listening to this work, that's a natural phenomenon. You're welcome.
Yes. He's all curled up,
Indeed.
napping. Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm.
And thank everybody for the kind wishes and wishing me good health and recovery. I appreciate it very
Yes.
much. I'm Dr.
Yes.
Cynthia.
I'm Kaylyn, and this is Intuitive Hypnotherapy Podcast.
You came for the chat. You stayed for the healing. Huzzah.
Yay. See you next
Bye,
week,
y'all.
guys.